So I did a thing. I finished an object. It's a sweater. Come on, let's see what's going on. Good morning, knitters. You're watching Recreational Knitting, and I'm Karen, and I'm the hostess of this place on the interwebs where we talk about traveling, but also knitting and yarny things and yarn acquisitions and places that we visited. If you're new to this podcast, I hope that you will find something that you like here and that you'll consider liking, subscribing, commenting, all the things that make the YouTubes work. And if you're an OG here, you know how I feel about you. You're wonderful, you make it work. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I love the comments that you leave. It makes this community work, and I do appreciate it. I can't say enough. Thank you to everybody that made themselves a subscriber and got me over my bet with my husband. Yes, got over 1,000 subscribers. Never thought that I would, but you know, knit happens. So welcome to all. Everyone is welcome here, always. We travel in our 39-foot RV, and we've been doing that since December 2019. Yes, you heard that right. It's been over 3.5 years, and we're still talking to each other. And we travel with our 2 little dogs, Max and Chula. We have visited 48 states. We did not get into Canada because of COVID, and our plans were to at least visit the lower part of Alaska. That did not happen, and that's okay. We're planning maybe a cruise at some point, which I hear is wonderful. Let's start with some knitting. Here we go. Finished object, Yum by Isabel Kramer. It's done, guys, it's done. Yes, I made the short sleeve version, as you can see. I live in Florida. The long sleeve version would never get worn, but I like it. It's a little bit big at the bottom. If I were to do it again, and I may, I probably would start to taper that a bit and go down on my ribbing at least another needle size. I went down 2 needle sizes, but I would do it 3 needle sizes for that. I blocked it yesterday in the Florida sun, and it's amazing how quickly things dry when it's 95 degrees or whatever it was yesterday, 94. Yes, that's my only finished object. Very pleased that it's finished. That's one thing off my needles before I start my Salty Air tea, which you all voted on June 1st. We'll talk about that later. So yes, I've finished one object. I'm working very diligently on my, I'm blocking it. Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart. You've seen it in other episodes if you've watched. It's almost done. I made it probably twice as large as as the pattern calls for, as I'd heard that it was going to be too small for what I really wanted it for. I'm using scraps, all fingering weight. A couple sport weights are thrown in there, but for the most part, it's just fingering weight. So, you know, it takes a little bit, and I have this many stitches on the needle. I haven't counted, but I'm getting close to the place where I need to start looking for the directions again and seeing how many stitches So maybe I'll have that finished for next week. Depends. I've only knitted for Joy this week, Art of the Joy, because I want that finished. I did not bring it to show it to you because I promised several episodes and lied that I'd never show it till it was finished. So, yeah. That's who I am. Anywho, let's get into some other whips. Only 2 have I made some progress on, because this was the week that I was going to knit for Joy, and I really did. I'm very happy that I have a new shirt to wear, and this is my old standby apparently, and going to be my old standby. This is the Anchor Summer Shirt by Petite Knits, and this is now my 4th one, and I made significant progress with this week. This is where I was last time, and you can see that I put a good probably 4.5 inches there. So, and I'm pulling the stitches right off the needle right as we speak. Again, this is my old standby yarn. I love it. It's Barocco Remix Light. And this is kind of a navy blue color. I'm not sure that you can really see that color well, but it's a recycled yarn. And I know several of you have tried it since I brought it to your attention and seem to like it as well. So yeah, if you've tried this, let me know and what you think about it. Yeah, so we're getting there. I feel good about this. This would be one that if I didn't have that habitation throw to finish, I might even have this done by next week. And that's my goal, to get this done before I cast on that Salty Air tea. So that's my first whip for Joy. What did you knit for Joy this week? I hope you found it. Many of you probably are mothers, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, and we had Mother's Day here in the United States, and I know in parts of South America, they celebrate Mother's Day here. I know Britain celebrates it earlier in the year, but we had Mother's Day here, and I'm hoping that you found some time to spend with children, grandchildren, those who bring joy into your life, and some joyous knitting as well. I know I did. Those of you that have been with me know that we are volunteering here at this state park, and we will be here through the middle of August. We're currently looking for a house. Yeah, that's fun. No, it's not. It's awful. But I'm trying to remain joyful with that even. We think we found something that we really like. We'll see how that goes in the next month. So we are volunteering here, and I volunteer in the ranger office and help the ranger with admissions to the park, checking campers in and out, all of those kinds of things, selling the t-shirts, selling the ice, all of that. Those of you that are campers know probably what kinds of work I do. I stand on my feet for 5 hours a day, just twice a week though. And I'm really enjoying it, having a good time. So this is my ranger station sock. I was here, I think last week when I showed you. So you see, we've been pretty busy. Yes, I actually take it up on Saturday, which is really probably the only day that I'll ever have a chance to work on it. Sundays are crazy busy. Renting out kayaks and canoes is fun, and those of you that have seen these videos have seen some kayakers behind me. I don't know if they're going to be busy today. It's Tuesday, May 16th. And that's all I have worked on this week. Seriously. Those are my acts of joy. I worked on 4 different things, and I have found that in the last month, I've kind of gotten like overwhelmed by all my whips and those things that are out there. So I want to get several things off my needles before I begin what is going to be my salty air tea. Those of you that are new, I let all my viewers pick from a variety of little bug bite there. I let them pick from a variety of patterns that I thought were nice summer tops. And they selected this one for me. It's Salty Air Tea by, and I'm going to butcher it, Samantha Guerin. It's got a bit of lace, just enough, similar in some ways to this yoke, it appears. I've actually read through this pattern, and seems pretty easy. Hers is more cropped. I'll make mine probably a couple inches longer. Then I let my viewers pick their choice of 2 different yarns, and this was the winner. This is Jody Long Alba. It's a tweed. I don't know whether that comes in very well, but it's a tweed, and this will be, when I finish it, it'll probably be towards the fall. I can't imagine that I'd be able to knit this through the summer with everything else I have going and want to have going. So I've got everything ready. I'm going to, now that I've got this done, I'm going to knit a swatch, believe it or not, because I've never made this one before. And we'll see how that goes. I'd like for you to join in and knit something along with me. We're just going to have a nice, easy knit along. You can knit anything summery that you want. You can make a summer top, you can make shorties, you can make socks. If you can convince me that it's summer, it will go right into that Ravelry group that I've yet to make, but I will. Which reminds me that we still have a make-along going on that is Spring Fling, wrong season, Spring Fling. You can find that on my Ravelry, Recreational Knitting. Go to Spring Fling and put your pictures of your finished objects in there. I'm pretty easygoing about what can be springy, if it's a spring color, if it's spring somewhere in the world. Got it? If it's a spring top, if it's a spring sweater, cardigan, anything is spring, is what I'm saying. So anything that you finished in the last month and a half, and you still have till May 31st to finish that, I will have a prize. And that prize will be a pattern. And speaking of patterns, last week I told you that you needed to comment, so you will have to go back and watch the podcast. And if you comment on that podcast, you'll be eligible for a pattern prize, and I'll pick that next week. Okay? All right. So since I got to 1,000, I'm gonna celebrate. I got some new stuff, right? Those of you that have been with me know that every 2-3 months or so, we get our mail delivered to us from a mail forwarding service since we've been out on the road. And we still don't have a official address since we haven't bought a home. So we'll continue to use that until we actually have an address to send things to. So we got that delivered this last week, and I got in trouble. big time trouble because it's been 3 months since we got our last delivery. And boy, I didn't realize I had signed up for a couple sock clubs, and we can't do this every month. I just, that was kind of ridiculous. And I'd ordered some yarn. Okay, I'll show you my first yarn is from Mouse Witch Yarn. And that is Mouses Makes on YouTube. And this is her colorway, Sunshine. Is that gorgeous? Look at that. I'm hoping that that really comes out. There's tons of colors in there. It's beautiful. And those of you that remember, I had two very, very light peach colorways of hers last week. And I'm thinking, yeah, this will go. So, and she sent a little heart marker that matches. Isn't that sweet? So thanks, Mandy. Love this too. I'd forgotten that I'd even ordered it, you know. Some people Ambien shop off of Amazon. I just forget. So, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Another club that I'm in, is Knit Spin Farm. And this is her Farm Life and Nature Sock Yarn Club. 1 month she does Farm Life, the next month she does Nature, which are very similar if you think about it. But I'm sure she has other things, you know, cooked up in her head that will be very different in Farm Life. Knit Spin Farm, this is called her fence post. And I'm hoping that you can see the beautiful colors there. There's some golds, mustards, browns, blue, greens. It's beautiful. And here comes some kayakers. Wave. Hello, kayakers.
Hello.
How are you?
You seen anything interesting?
No, I'm filming a podcast. But there are some gators that we spotted Sunday.
Wow.
And a mama manatee with her baby.
Wow.
So
Really?
keep your eye open. And there's an owl sometimes that comes up into that tree. See where that hole is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes he will come in there.
Moonlit ones. A couple years ago, they started moonlit kayak tours.
There you go.
Those were really cool.
So enjoy your kayak.
Well, thank you.
This is made in her Targhee Sport, 90% Targhee and 10% nylon, and it's 350 yards. And that's what those green socks are made from. They're sport weight. So that's the same yarn, different color. Beautiful. This is called her fence post. So Knit Spin Farm. Go try it out if you'd like to try. I'm thinking this might be a good prize for 1,000 subscribers. If you put the comment 1,000 down below and like and subscribe, I'm going to put you in as entered into the giveaway, and I'll ship it anywhere, even though it probably will cost more than the yarn did. So anyway, I want somebody to try this. This is really nice yarn. So that will be the prize. Then I forgot I signed up for this one. You know, maybe it is Ambien shopping. I don't know. That's what I'm going to go with. I don't take Ambien, but it's what I'm going to go with. This is the Simply Socks Yarn Company's Yarn Club. This is her 31st Yarn Club, and it's only 3 months, so I will only be getting 2 more skeins of this. And they are featuring 3 different dyers using 3 different yarn bases and creating 3 different colorways that will only be exclusive to her club. I get it, but I don't get it. It's yarn, it's beautiful, it's all good. This is a yarn base from Linares Yarn Company, and they are in, I'm going to say they are located in Uruguay. And this is called her Beach Haven colorway, or their, I don't know if they're female, male, or non-gendered, not sure. Doesn't really matter. They are a company, and you can find them. This is called Beartooth, and it's high twist, and it's 100% Polworth, which I've never really tried. I've heard it's wonderful. It's very squishy, it's very soft, and look at those colors. Very subtle, but very beautiful. And she sent along the postcard that the dyer used for inspiration. Trying to see, yeah, get that on. It's beautiful, beautiful colors. So that's the Simply Sock Yarn Company, and they are in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Wonderful, wonderful company. I've bought from them for years. Just a great company. I can't say much any more than that. Then I saw that Arkansas Yarn Company had openings for their sock yarn club. That was apparently in January. And so I now have 2. This is, I don't know what month this is. I don't know whether she's got, but You Make My Heart Flutter. It's very lovely yarn, very lovely. Some pastellis. And maybe a fade with Mandy's other very light base over here. That's what I'm thinking. So this is called You Make My Heart Flutter. I don't know if you can get these without being in the Sock Yarn Club. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she does it. I don't know what the rules are. I just saw that there was an opening and I jumped on it. This is her Yummy High Twist, 85-15, and it's 399 yards. I've never seen that one before. But again, Arkansas Sock Yarn Company. I hope you can see that with the lighting changing here. It's kind of crazy. In that, there's all kinds of little yummy stickers, some tea, and it's all related to butterflies. Bring yourself joy. Find a butterfly this week. And a little invitation to their retreat. Yeah, that's probably not going to occur. But wouldn't that be fun to do? Then, what I think is very similar is how sweet it is. Now this does not have any coral in it. I don't know whether you can really see that, but it's really pastels without any orange, coral. It's got a tiny bit of yellow, green, blue, and pink are the colors that are in this. And of course, they always put little stitch markers in, which is great. Everybody can use some stitch markers. So, and again, this one comes with little tchotchkes, and this one has a little macaroon, and I'm not sure what it is. Let's open it up together. I thought it was a measuring tape, but I don't think it is. Oh, it's a little place to put stitch markers as I drop the top. So yeah, again, they do a nice job of putting all the colors together. Boy, things are getting out of whack here. Dropping things. They do a nice job of putting all the little tchotchkes together and putting things in there. And yeah, I've been told I need to cancel that. Living in an RV with yarn, 3 different yarn subscriptions probably wasn't the wisest of moves. Just saying. And then I was feeling a little bit, let me move so you can actually see my face a bit better. There, maybe you don't want to see it, I don't know. Then I got my Maryland sheep and wool from Miss Babs. Since I couldn't be there, all of you who attended, Aquila, I'm very jealous. It's okay. It's all right. I haven't opened this yet. Those of you that don't know, I'm from the Maryland area, and before I left Baltimore, I did go to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival several times. One year it rained, wasn't well attended, it was muddy, but it, you know, it was fun. And the second year, I had just bought my house, so I was really on a limited budget. So, yeah. But I always would get Miss Babs colorway. Oh man, okay, now I have my fade. I'm thinking this will be good. Got a little mosquito thing going there. This is Miss Babs Putnam. I like a high twist yarn, particularly if I think that I might make socks out of it, because it lasts longer. 75-25, and it's 400 yards. Look at those colors. Ah! Yeah, let's try to get this fade. I don't know if it'll work or won't. I don't know. Might have to, maybe not. What do you think? And then the lighter one up here of Mandy's. I don't know, I'm thinking this might have to go. I could be wrong. It's so hard to see, but yes, definitely fadeable. Definitely fadeable. All right. Let's see where my notes are. Last week I forgot to announce, oh look, haven't cut that off yet. Yeah, definitely handmade. I want to talk to you just very briefly of some podcasters that I've watched that I really do enjoy. The first one is Karen Knits. I had to see her just because of the name, you know? It's Karen, she's a professor in South Central Pennsylvania. She loves to make socks, and she did a really lovely Vlogmas with her advent calendar. So I would suggest, if you get in the mood to see what she did with her advent calendar and where she got it. I believe it's somewhere here in Florida. Orlando Fiber Company comes to mind. I'm not sure that's it. But I would recommend checking her out and seeing what she's up to. She's a prolific sock knitter, and she's one of those that was doing Sock Madness Yeah, that's crazy stuff. I signed up for it just to see if I could do the first one, and the first one was anxiety producing. So those of you that are in and do that, you are a goddess. So yeah, so check Karen's Knits out. And then I'm sure that most of you know these next two that I'm going to talk about, but I really enjoy watching Leslie of Not Quite Enough Yarn. She does a weekly little vlog that she pushes together and puts out on Friday and talks about her week and what she's been doing craft-wise. There goes another bug. And I enjoy that because that gets into more of things that she's been doing over the week, and not just her crafting, but visiting with friends and going to different parks, different venues in her area. And she's from the UK. Leslie, and I'm sure you probably have all seen her at some point or another. She's wonderful. Yes, and then I'm going to repeat her name because I screwed it up last time. Soxy, not sexy, Soxy Nana Alice. Those of you that remember my oopsie, I left it in and she laughed, but yeah. Soxy Nana Alice is from Canada, and she makes a ton of socks, although right now she's on a roll with all the knitted animals. Cutest animals I've ever seen. Go check her out if you like making the little stuffies. And she makes a lot of sweaters. And she's getting ready to go out onto a property that they own somewhere outside of Winnipeg in the North Country. And it's, I remember that's how I got to know her last summer, was that she was in, the country in a mobile home, and that's like their summer cottage. And it was just very nice to go on walks with her every day. And another one that I'm going to mention is Judy, who has Witch Peace Craft, and she's from Australia. So we have 4 different countries that I would suggest you check out some podcasts from. Judy has been running a knit along, but she's traveling from country to country. It's kind of clever. It's very cute. Check her out. We still have a discount code from Barley, Hops, and Yarn on Etsy. Jennifer is the owner of that shop, and the discount code, I'm going to put it right here, is RKP15. So you get 15% off of her yarn. Administratively, I still have one person that has not contacted me for a prize. I'm still waiting on Jenny Fur, or another place she's known as Lily B. And she won the Whip Be Gone Mal that we ran back in the day, early this winter, and yeah, it was over in March 31st. And she won, and I'm still waiting on her to contact me. Again, my email is down below. And if you can't find that, recreational knitting, all one word, at gmail.com. I've decided to activate that and make it more accessible, because obviously my other email is not accessible. So that takes care of some of that. And now we are on to what joyful knitting we can talk about this week. Let me move because the sun is there. Hopefully that will help. One of the things that I've really thought about this week is, again, knitting with joy, knitting for joy. knitting for peace, knitting for a sense of well-being. And I think that so many of us, because we're knitters, we feel that we need to pick up that fill in the blank because I need it for so-and-so's birthday or such and such holiday. And we're all guilty of it. How many of us have stayed up to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning finishing something for Christmas or a birthday? Okay, raise your hand. I see you. I see you. Yes, we're pretty much all guilty of that. I don't think, for me, that's terribly joyful. And I think that if you find yourself in that place where you're, I've got to work on this, that takes the joy out of it. I'm going to just throw out some things that I've thought about this week about that. If getting that object to that person for that particular day is important, I definitely would take a picture, print that picture out, give that person a piece of the yarn, maybe stick a piece of candy in there, put it in a card and say, I haven't forgotten you. I'm knitting this with love. I don't know if that will work for everyone, but it might work for that significant other that you might be knitting for, or a daughter that knows that you're knitting those socks, but just haven't quite finished them. And I'm sure many of you have done these kinds of things. You know, if you've got a suggestion for that, leave it in the comments. I think that's how I would handle it, just so they know that, you know, no, I haven't forgotten you, and yes, it's coming. I think that weather really influences our choices, obviously. In the middle of the summer, which we are approaching here in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, wool might not be your go-to. You might need some cotton or bamboo, something light. So put away the wool sweater if you can, if it's not bringing you joy, and go find some cotton. If you need to go to the local Walmart or the local Michael's or wherever you can find cotton that you like, get a couple washcloths, dishcloths, dish towels, make a pair of shorty socks, something that might really bring you joy but keep your needles working. You might find a new yarn that you really like. I have found, and I believe it was in the last episode, a really nice yarn that I like by Haiku. It's called Kobasi, capital C-O, capital B-A, capital S-I. Kobasi. It's for cotton, bamboo, and silk. And I showed a pair of socks that I have really been abusing, I will say it, and they have held up great. They take a bit longer to dry because of the cotton, if you're waiting in them to air dry. But other than that, they've worked out well. So try something new that might be a little cooler. I know many of us go to knitting socks in the summer because you don't have all that on your lap. But even trying a new fiber might help. If I'm not in the mood for certain colors to knit, I look for something a lot more joyful. This is a perfect example. And I remember why I liked it so much, because it really felt like it elevated my mood and that I would really enjoy knitting with something this wonderful, this colorful. So try that if you're kind of out of the knitting mojo of maybe a darker sweater, or, you know, socks for your guy in your life. Yeah, pick up something that's neon, woohoo, yeah. all of that. That will probably work. I am old and I really prefer to wear less colorful clothing, but the more the older I get, the more open I am to those colorful kinds of things. Can you tell? Yes. So, and location. In our RV, I have Lazy Boy. I don't know whether I'm allowed to use that. They're not affiliated. Obviously, they're not sponsoring me. But I have a Lazy Boy that's my knitting chair. And there's a little table that I use, to put my stitch markers on and my, water and sometimes that really gets old, you're just you're sitting there. Many evenings when Luke is watching something else on TV, I go to the back and I sit up in bed and I watch podcasts back there and knit back there. In good weather, what better place to knit? Outside. I know you've all done this, and I know that many of you have talked about, having a screened-in back porch or a screened-in porch that you love to go out and knit, or a garden. Excellent. So when you're really needing to find some joy, go out, smell the roses, enjoy the outdoors. It's really meant for that. Remember, Knitting in Public Day is coming up. June the 10th. I've got the date right now. All right. So I'm hoping that you've thought about taking the challenge about Knit in Public Day, that you've kind of thought, okay, maybe I should go to the website, check it out, see if there's something close by that maybe I can put my toe in and say, hi, I'm a knitter too. Pull up a chair and sit and knit with a group. Or if you don't have a group, go to a park, find a beautiful park bench and knit. And remember the challenge of taking extra in case somebody comes up to you and say, what are you doing? How do you do that? Well, here's needles and extra yarn. I'll show you. So, on that note, I'm going to include some still pictures today, no video, of some of the most beautiful places that I have found in this park that bring me joy. I want you this week to pick up and take, wherever you want to, a piece of joyful knitting and just let it take over. Knit in peace, guys.